So I hope this is a lesson and you can use it and remember things so you do not destroy a spectrum analyzer, especially your new TinySA. So whenever you input signals into a spectrum analyzer, you have to be very wary about two things. One, if it has any DC content, and two, if it has too high of a power level that the instrument is not designed for. Now I believe the TinySA is intolerant to DC offsets. Looks like that has capacitive inputs. I'd like to hear maybe from the designer that that's okay, but I believe that's the case. But just to be sure, I never put DC offsets into any instrument, so you just don't do that. Just kind of make it a habit. So the other thing I want to talk about is input power level. Now the TinySA, the specification says plus 10 dBm is the absolute maximum. I know that the TinySA actually works better at levels below minus 30 dBm, so why put in a high level, because you only have a 30 dB attenuator. So if you can keep things around 0 dBm and then you have a 30 dB attenuator available to you, you can get it down into a usable range. So my rule of thumb is never put more than 0 dBm into your TinySA. All right, so let's say that we have an unknown input, or maybe we're confused about the input and we want to measure it. So here I'm going into the high port and I'm measuring a couple, I don't know, frequency points that this particular oscillator has, or whatever this signal is. It has two, and I can measure them. They're at about minus 60 dBm. All right. Now, when I first hooked up the instrument to an unknown source, I put in a 30 dB pad, just to be sure. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know what the power level is. I'm going to err on the safe side. I'm going to go ahead and put in a 30 dB pad just to be safe. I don't want to destroy my spectrum analyzer, so I put a nice big pad on the front, okay? Now that I've measured minus 60, I can remove the pad, and I know that I'm going to be at minus 30, so everything's going to be just fine. And so let's do that. No, that's a bad idea. That's a very, very bad idea, okay? We're only looking at a certain part of the spectrum. We have to look at the whole spectrum that our actual our source has, because it's total power, not just power in one particular frequency band. It's total power that's going to destroy the instrument. So I'm actually zoomed in here. So let's go back to frequency. And I'm going to set the stop back to 960 megahertz. So we'll go full band again. And I go, oh, okay, there's more than I was just looking at. Okay, so you want to look at all of it. Okay, so here I'm looking at all of it. And my highest peak is at minus 60. And there's no other peaks higher than minus 60. So if I remove the pad, all the peaks will be around minus 30. So I'm good to go, right? I can remove the pad. No, that would be a really, really, really bad idea. So why is that? Well, there might be frequencies higher than this. Maybe there's something at 1 gigahertz. Maybe there's 5 watts at 1 gigahertz. You can't tell. Your spectrum analyzer does not tell you that. Or maybe there's a whole bunch of power at, let's see, this starts at 240. Maybe at 200 megahertz there's a whole bunch of power. You don't know. It's not displayed here. So there's a couple ways that you can tell. One is to try to use a spectrum analyzer that's lower frequency and higher frequency. Maybe you don't have those instruments, or maybe in your setup you just can't do that, okay? Another way to do that is to use a power meter, okay? And so I have a power sensor right here. And so let's disconnect this. And I'm not going to include the pad. I'm going to look at the source directly. And I'm going to put that into my power meter. All right. And so we will say with the power meter is good from 1 megahertz to 20 gigahertz. And I know that it's going to integrate all that power, even past 20 gigahertz. It's still going to capture a lot of that power, even though it's not quite accurate. It's perfectly accurate between 1 and 20 gigahertz, but even outside those bands, it's going to collect any power that's available there, okay? So now that we've hooked it up to a power meter, what does the power meter say? Well, the power meter says plus 12 dBm. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I'll change the units. That's 15.6 milliwatts. Okay. So that's enough to kill your SNA. Okay. So if you would have just hooked that up directly, you would have killed your TinySA, or at least damaged it. All right. So what's going on? There must be power that's not being displayed. Okay. So let's go down to the low connector, and we'll see if there's any power at lower frequencies. All right. And I need to change the mode. So mode low in. And sure enough, there's some information here. And this peak is at minus 16. But remember, we have a 30 dB pad in there, right? So 30 dB, right? We're up way up in the power level, right? So the moral of the story is always make sure you understand what frequency ranges your source has. Make sure that you creep up on it if possible, but make sure that you understand what the maximum power is here, because the TinySA doesn't care. Even if it's set to the upper band, any frequency range, either higher or lower, will kill the TinySA. And if you're in the lower band, this one goes from 0 to 350 megahertz. But what if there's a 500 megahertz signal that's really, really big and you don't know it? Yeah, you will destroy it. Or you can get tricked. You can maybe use something like the nano VNA as a frequency source, and you can set a particular frequency and it'll give you that frequency, but what it doesn't tell you is it's giving you all the harmonics as well, and all those harmonics add up to some power level. So don't trust things in RF land. Double check. Make sure that you know exactly how much power there is. One of the safe things to do is a power sensor. It measures total power. It doesn't measure just individual harmonics. That can sometimes get you in trouble, though. If you think you're trying to measure one particular peak and you put the power meter on there and you get a number, it might not just be for that peak. It might be for all the harmonics as well. So you just need to be careful in RF land, and don't destroy your TinySA.